Gaming industry choking itself to death. Jim Sterling Gaming. But he hasn't an X27. T done that in a long time. Now every week it's just whining about the games industry, and for a while that was fine, but I swear he just recycles the same point he made in the previous videos every time. He has nothing new to say, nothing to add to the discussion or put forward. I am honestly glad I never supported Jim's Patreon. He an X27's just a shell of himself, chasing whatever the weekly news is so he can tell you the same shit he told you last week whilst putting his own opinion on a pedestal. But I swear he just recycles the same point. No one cares about hyper-realistic graphics. Asterisk looks at all the people who complain about poor graphics. Asterisk. So you think they're Jim? I think it can seem like that when what you are trying to say is being repeated over and over by the games industry, in each game released, and by the main publishers. If Jim wants to with so-called games journalists now famously only having access to the major press releases and industry information in exchange for their work, reviews being edited in a positive light, we need people on the other side of the argument providing balance. God forbid anyone just play games they find fun. God forbid anyone has critical thinking skills to stop pre-ordering and praising broken, unfinished and MTX-focused games. There in X27. A difference between being too stupid to realize you and X27. Being a sheep, and being an active consumer spending money on the games you enjoy. I don't in X27. T think there is any more. If people vote with their wallet, and what they vote for is stupid, does that make them stupid? Or are you stupid for PS I don't and X27? T mean you specifically? Yes. I think people are. That said, it's not gamers to blame fully. It's also greedy. I and X27 am not an exception. If people vote with their wallet, and what they vote for is stupid, does that make them stupid? Or are you stupid for getting so caught up about the industry that you forget to enjoy video games as a source of entertainment? I think there in X27's something to be said about getting too caught up in this fight. After all, you forget the huge amount of actually decent companies and developers that put a lot of care and effort into making great games. Dawn and X2, you can ignore those games entirely and not be worse off at all. The worse it gets, a subreddit for almost anything related to games, video games, board games, card games, etc. But not sports.